मंजूरी से, पद्मा
विजया
मैम
से।
से, विजया से, चांदनी से।
ठीक है, तो बोल दीजिए पहले।
अच्छा
सामने
सुनो
तक
ना, आइए ना फ्रंट पे।
आइए आइए, प्लीज कम कम कम। बारबरा, स्नेहा, मूव इन फ्रंट। कम, आओ आओ। स्नेहा, আচ্ছা, আপনাকে বলতে হবে, আপনি টেকনিক্যাল এক্সপার্ট না। ঠিক আছে।
हेलो।
হ্যাঁ। सर के लिए जगह A very good morning to all of y'all. We have gathered here to mark the International Women's Day celebration. We would start this session with a safety briefing by Mr. Rahul Dev. So I would request Rahul to come.
Thank you, Kajuri. A very happy International Women's Day. And as we know, women is the energy, power. So as with this only, it comes safety. So as we start with our day, it's a very lovely day. And to start with, we are in a very safe and secure location we are sitting in. And in this particular location, please be aware of your position where you are sitting, the ergonomical hazard. Apart from that, there are no other hazards which are there. As you go outside, there are 2 emergency exits. Okay, and from the reception, when you come, there are 2 emergency exits on both the sides. And as you enter, there are 2 emergency exits. So in case of any emergency, please don't rush. Just follow the emergency exit. And in case of any emergency, fire emergency, please don't take the elevators. Just come down with the staircase, holding the handrails. And there are assembly points at the downstairs, at the basement, as well as near the reception. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Rahul. So the campaign theme for Women's Day this year is Inspire Inclusion. What is inclusion? Inclusion is a culture where a mix of people, they come to work where they feel comfortable, where they are confident in being themselves, and they work as per their suitability, catering to the business needs. So this is theoretical description of inspiring inclusion, which we all know. But are we mindful of it in our day-to-day activities is something which we need to reflect upon. For example, we have our manpower budgeting exercise going on. So all the departmental heads, they know how many manpower they would require for their departments for the coming financial year. But have we earmarked the diversity candidates we require? Did we have this discussion with the talent acquisition head? Or do we think it is the responsibility of the company, it is the responsibility of the HR to earmark the diversity candidates? So this is just an instance how we can be mindful of inspiring inclusion in our workplace. Instance 2, in our annual report, so we have the EBITDA percentage, we have the CAGR percentage. Do we look for the gender diversity ratio which is also mentioned over there? Have we gone through it? It is easily accessible in our corporate website. Did we have a look at it? This is how we can, become aware about the inspiring inclusion at a workplace. Instance 3. So for TEGA night, we have volunteers coming and saying they would like to, volunteer for the biggest corporate annual event. For Women's Day, how many volunteers did we have? Or is it a common perception that men, they don't understand women, so let the women handle the Women's Day celebration. We don't know what they want, right? So these are small steps where we have to be mindful, where we have to take the onus to make it an inclusive workplace, rather than thinking it's the responsibility of the company, it's the responsibility of the management, it's the responsibility of the HR. And so I would leave you all with this thought. And apart from this, I would just like you all to remember that inclusiveness does not only mean including gender diversity. It means including people of different race, caste, creed, color, or physical appearance. there should be no demarcation. With this, I would like to invite my colleague Rashmi to welcome our panelist.
Thank you, Kajuri. Today we have 4 special guests with us. I would like to thank them for taking out time and being here with us today on the International Women's Day celebration that we have today. I would introduce our guests. So I will start with Ms. Seema Mohnot. Ms. Mohnot is a partner with BSR and Company LLP, which is the member of the KPMG Global Network. She is a chartered accountant with over 20 years of experience in audit and assurance services. Ms. Mohnot brings with her significant experience in audits of large number of clients in India and overseas, which includes working in India, Nepal, and United States of America. Seema ranked 8th in her chartered accountancy final examination and 7th in the company secretaryship final examination on all India basis and holds a BCom honors degree from Calcutta University. Seema is a regular speaker at seminars organized by ICAI and other industry forums, and in her leisure time, Seema enjoys reading, traveling, and playing badminton. I would request Manjari to please welcome her with a bouquet of flowers. Our next guest for today is Ms. Neharika Vohra. Ms. Vohra is a specialist in behavioral science and is currently working as professor in organizational behavior area at IIMA Ahmedabad. She holds 2 postgraduate degrees and PhD from the University of Manitoba, Canada. She was the first rank holder in graduation and post-graduation in India. She holds extensive experience with the corporate sector as an independent director, consultant, coach, and mentor. She has been involved with a large number of top companies in executive education and has served as chairperson of IIMA's doctoral program, fellow program in management, and editor of Vikalp. She has also published over 70 peer-reviewed research papers in top-level international and national journals and authored several books as well. She has guided more than 15 PhD students at IIMA, and she has been involved in Center for Innovation and Incubation in Entrepreneurship at IIMA. She has also served as founding Vice Chancellor of Delhi Skill and Entrepreneurship University. It's a state university formed as an act of the Delhi state. She has also served on the board of IIMA and the academic council of several national level institutions. I would request Dipanjana to please come up and welcome Ms. Neharika for us. Our next special guest for today is Ms. Dilith Castleton. Ms. Castleton, honored with the Leading Women's Award by the World Business Council for Sustainable Development, comes with over 4 decades of expertise in the CSR domain. She has done her master's in social work from Tata Institute of Social Sciences. A social development professional specializing in family and child welfare, her inclination has been to elevate and impact the lives of the most vulnerable of the society, especially women and the children. Ms. Castleton has successfully led programs relating to girl-child education, enhancing livelihood programs, women empowerment, improving adolescent, maternal, and child health for Tata Steel. Her rich pool of experience over the years has enabled to create a strong network for advocacy with the grassroots NGOs, civil bodies, and governments for advocacy to translate her vision into reality. I would request Payal to please come up and welcome Ms. Castleton. Our next guest for today is Ms. Modhura Palit. Ms. Palit is an Indian cinematographer and has studied cinematography from the Satyajit Ray Film and Television Institute. She holds several awards and honors to her name, including the distinction of being the first Indian woman to be awarded as a promising cinematographer at the Cannes Film Festival. Member of the Indian Women Cinematographers Collective, IWCC, as well as of the Eastern India Cinematographers Association. She's also part of the Busan Asian Academy, and she took part in the Looking China Youth Film Projects in 2015. She has been working on over 30 short films, TVCs, documentaries, corporate films, and feature films, and her work includes a wide range of films that have both been critically and commercially acclaimed. She has been championing and inspiring the inclusion of more women in the technical field in the filmmaking through her work and has been inspiring all of us. Thank you so much, Ms. Modhura, for being here. I would request Sakshi to please welcome Ms. Modhura for us. We would now request our guests to please share a few words, tell us about their journey, and from there we will take over in terms of having a panel discussion. I would request Ms. Mohnot to please start off.
So good morning to all of you, and thank you for having me here on, you can't hear us? On here? Am I audible now? Yeah? At the back? Right. So good morning, and thank you for having me here on letting me share my thoughts on International Women's Day. A day we celebrate every year to acknowledge the role of women, to value them, to inspire inclusion and talk about empowerment. Uh, it is heartening to note that the efforts taken by your organization to further this very important initiative. So I think a big round of applause to all of you all also. I will take a few minutes to chart out my journey, the 25 years plus of professional experience which I have, and what I have seen and learned over these 25 years. Is that, can you hear me at the back because this is echoing? All right. So when I look back, a lot of things have happened. We've made a lot of progress, but there is a lot of road to cover. Now, being an accountant, I'm refraining myself for taking numbers. Otherwise, I would kind of list out various numbers. But, as per the World Economic Forum report, we are somewhere below in the last quadrant of how we rank on the gender gap. We have been again progressing, but the progress is kind of a bit slow. All of us here have at least gone over, and we do not have the whole fact that we are here, that we've overcome the challenges of education, the basic challenges of health, sanitation, the basic, the social empowerment, which helps us all to be here. And this is not only to the female counterparts, but all the men and women who are here, who support their families in this endeavor. However, there are a few recurring themes which I think I would like to bring to your attention. First and foremost, in many which ways, the unconscious bias in the workplace, at homes, exist. These impair or hinder the ability for women to be recognized, to gain the recognition they require. It impairs the ability for them to reach out and explore new opportunities, and sometimes even as simple as work on a day-to-day basis. So I think this is where one needs to be aware and work upon. Secondly, not when I see that, when at entry level, not so much, but, women often face a confidence dilemma in middle levels of management when they move to leadership positions, as they move forward to make a place for themselves to move forward in a male-dominated setting. So again, this is where we need to be aware of as to how we may be harbingers of change. There are many expectations from women, both at the workplace, at the home front, and many experience difficult career decisions at key life stages due to the social setup for their caregiving roles. And it is these challenges, again, that we need to overcome to drive change and further inclusion. But I guess you've heard of all of this in some way or the other over the years. Where I would like to, again, deliberate is, while we are aware of this, what are we doing about it? Okay? And what each one of us can do to get over these. First of all, to excel in workplace, I think that we cannot deny that technical competence or having a skill set which matches the position you are, excelling in that is important, whether you are a man, you are a woman, or whatever it is. But you just cannot be there, have promotions, seek furtherment just because of gender. There has to be merit in what you do. Uh, but along with this, I think while competence is important, uh, confidence is a very important leadership trait. And that is where, we kind of shy away as women a little bit. Uh, you are faced with challenges. You need to you need to make decisions. You need to take a risk. I was just hearing about the great risk taking from your chairman, but these risks need to be taken in order to move forward. Uh, but however, in women, when I see or when what I have experienced is there is self-doubt. Now, do men don't have self-doubt? Of course they do. But the way we react or we respond to self-doubt is different from how men respond to self-doubt. Of course, there are studies on this, but generally, we want to kind of take a proven path, go back on a proven track record, tick off all the checklists that matter. This is where we lose out on our positive self-enforcement, acknowledging our efforts, and if necessary, trumpeting our achievements. And this is where we shy away from seeking higher positions. So I guess, again, when we look at general gender diversity in an organization, there may be a lot of people making it into the entry level, but it kind of meanders down when you go to leadership positions. Risk-taking is a part of the entire career journey. We need to embrace risk, and we need to get over self-doubt. And so the questions which we may need to ask ourselves is, what is the worst that could happen? Have we ever thought about that? And even if there is something which was not going to go the right way, are we prepared, or how have we prepared ourselves for the consequences? If we are good with that, we might as well go ahead. And but not the least, the whole point is, do we discount, or have we actually kind of denied the existence or the consequences of just not doing anything and remaining at a status quo position? So when you are at leadership roles, you are to take decisions. You need to bring in fresh ideas. And this is not going to happen if you do not take a calculated risk. So I guess, somewhere as women, we will need to kind of look at this risk-taking capacity, look at ourselves to see that, no, we can do it, even though there may be uncharted territory ahead. Now, on the flip side, and this is what I usually see, is when women are evaluated, they are similarly evaluated on proven track record. However, men are evaluated on potential. Now, this is where, probably you look at a woman and said, has she done this before? Will she be able to do it? But when you look at a man and say, okay, let's give him a chance, even though he's not done it before. So now, is this only a one-sided bias? No, we have something to do about it, and we need to make that change. Okay? When I come to the second experience when I have is when we as women, when we are going about our workplace, in the quest of perfection, okay, we are siloed, we try to work, give it our best, and we just want some others to kind of look at what we are doing and kind of appraise us, evaluate us, or acknowledge us. Have we tried, or have we sought allies? Have we looked back? We spent time at work, we then spend time at home. Where is our support network? Where is our support network at the workplace? Where is our support network at home in times of crisis? When we prioritize, where do we seek support? even in work situations, and especially when you have, roles, when you come to mid-management or higher management level, you have to seek out where are you going to get those allies? Have we built enough professional network to utilize them? Where is our sounding board if we need it? Where are people we need to discuss with? Maybe it is friends, maybe it is family, maybe it is our professional colleagues or co-workers. But do we have this network? Because somewhere down the line in our quest to do our own work, we've not just built this support system around us. Now, this support system is what will help you to go further. Okay? When you go to a social gathering, and this is what I have felt and made a conscious effort. Have I met two new people? Or have I just talked around and chit-chatted asked general welfare of people whom I know? When I went back, met two new people, what did I do to kind of continue that relationship? Were those relationships useful in my quest to further career growth? Now, it may kind of sound selfish, but we are working with people, and people are there who are going to support us. And it could be even mentors in your organization too. So I guess this aspect of networking is very important, when we want to seek further. All right. I've talked about confidence, I've talked about networking, but where will all this come from? So communication is the key, all right? We may have a lot of knowledge, but are we articulating that knowledge at the right time, at the right moment, and in the right manner? As women, are we appearing to be too soft? Are we appearing to be too aggressive? Are people listening to us? Are we able to get across a point of view, or we conform to a position? Are we being able to negotiate? Are we being able to talk where people absorb what we say rather than just react to what we say? At the end of the day, this articulation is how you will kind of connect yourself to others, to the outside world. Are you ultimately making an impact? And if none of this is happening, it is time to sharpen your skill sets. Because it is with communication is only where you can demonstrate what you have. And there is no right or wrong time to learn. If you believe you are lacking or you are somewhere short in that area, just enhance. There are a lot of courses available. You can seek advice and you can hone that skill set. It will take time. It will not come like overnight. Suddenly you are not so good in communication. Tomorrow you're good. It is so, but I think the starting point is to be aware as to how you will be able to express your idea in an objective manner, in being precise and being effective. Because that is needed in the workplace. I guess when we look at all of this, we crowd ourselves. There are demands at workplace, there are demands at home. Work-life balance is wishful thinking. So we will need to face the real world, and we would need to not only, succumb to these demands everywhere, but look after our well-being. There is nobody else to take care of us than us. And well-being is both physical and mental. And somewhere in all this race, we forget to take care of ourselves. It is okay to take a break. It is okay to choose a hobby. I think most of our hobbies have been left somewhere, around that, you can last recollect that you pursued your passion in your school life or in your college life. Okay. So I think that even pursuing a hobby or looking up to a break is okay. Right. To summarize, because I said that I have 5 minutes, I guess every leadership style is your own. Okay, so you can have role models, you can have mentors, but you will have to choose your career path by your own. What is the skill sets you have? Does it match the skill sets of the organization or the needs of the organization? Do you want to be agile and adapt to the need of the organization, or look at the organization which looks out for your skill sets? And this is the way to grow. So I think, we should not let go at any point of time. Together with collaborative support, we can do it, and you should keep on doing it. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Confidence, network, and communication is the key. We will remember that. Now I would like to invite Ms. Neharika to share her thoughts.
So thank you for your very interesting words. And thank you again for inviting me. I will take a little different tack in sharing about myself. I think I have about 5 minutes to say all this. Okay. So I'm going to take a couple of things from my own life and build on that rather than, at this point of time, give advice. Because these are days when you start to reflect on what's happening, what are we looking at, and is this really meaningful? I would really love a day when we don't have to have an International Women's Day. Yeah, it should be 360. It should be normal. We should all be there in equal numbers, because we are in equal numbers in the population, so why should there be an International Women's Day? Historically started 113 years ago, when men and women came on the streets asking for rights, equal rights for men and women. And 113 years later, we're possibly asking and saying the same things while we have made progress. And I therefore continue to think that maybe one needs to look at personal stories, and one needs to look at the progress we have made to feel optimistic, and also to possibly look at what each one of us can do, and this is not just the women, but the men and women can do to make a world which is possibly a little more equal and equitable. Not necessarily equal, but equitable. So I will start off, I grew up in a really small town in Orissa, Rourkela. And my parents came from the northern part of the country, which is, patriarchal in its being. And I remember that I was 3 years old, and this is, I don't know if I fully remember it, but it's been said so many times, so I think I remember it, when my brother was born. And my dad and my mom at night were having a conversation saying, कि अब हमें कोई कंधा देने वाला आ गया. And I must have heard this conversation, and I asked my mother and father in the morning कि वो तो इतना छोटा है, वो क्या कंधा देगा? Whatever it is, we are the older ones, we will do it. And so that became a joke, but that also became my own thing, that if, I'm capable, I can do it, and why can't I do it? And what is so special about this, helpless baby, that he can and I can't? Yeah. And I think my mom possibly told this story many times because she was quite tickled with it. Yeah, she also felt that maybe this was the right thing that I was saying, And then, of course, I continued to, and I'm a middle child, and I grew up in a middle child, so being the more sort of, just whatever needed to be done outside the house was my work, and I did that for a long time. My brother was a shy kid, my sister was, lost in her own things, so I would do all the things that needed to be done, which was very good because, again, that gave me the confidence that I needed possibly to get through in life. So fast forward, and one of my Mausis, my mother's sister, who was at that time a BA B.Ed, and she got married to a lawyer, and 12 years after her marriage, she one day just died. And she didn't just one day die, because in the 12 years of her marriage, she had 5 daughters who were alive, and she had 6 abortions. Yeah, I was very young at that point of time, but it was really clear that something was not right. Yeah, you can't have 11, you can't carry 11 times in 12 years of her marriage. So at some point she just lost energy, and she lost. And the little girl at that time was only 6 months old, the littlest of them. And my nani, who was completely uneducated, she basically was very upset because nobody had thought that this would happen, and the family situation and my grandmother's place wasn't very great at that point of time. But she basically just told her son-in-law, "Bas ab bahut, I'm taking all these 5 girls away. You've killed my daughter." He hadn't murdered her, but that's what the words she used. And she said, now you can do whatever. You can get married again, you can get a son if you want to, but these daughters you will not get access to. Anyway, fast forward, I think the guy realized what happened, took back his daughters, apologized, took back his daughters, brought them up, never got married again. But the fact is that my grandmother, in the steps she took, she actually made a point that if you didn't respect my daughter, you don't have access to your daughters. Yeah, and you couldn't, and that I think made a huge difference as to how again I thought about life. I've continued to look at the statistics on female feticide in India. Yeah, and I don't know if many of you know this, but 10 million girls have been killed either before they were born or just after they were born in the last 20 years. This is more than the number of people who were killed in the Holocaust. Yeah, we talk about the Holocaust, there's a Holocaust happening right in our backgrounds, which we don't pay attention to because it doesn't affect us. But the reality is that, in fact, both educated men and women living in India and the Silicon Valley have the same behavior. They have more male children than any other ethnic population. It's not about money. It's not about being rich or poor. It's about somewhere not valuing the girl child. Yeah? Every year, 500,000 girls disappear from the country. Yeah? Not after they are grown up. That numbers we don't have access to, but just at the time of birth or just before birth, right? It's a real issue. It's a real issue that, if many of you, I always say I'm very lucky that my parents didn't kill me. I think we're all lucky that our parents didn't kill us just as we were being born. But I think if many of the men have access today to a lot of opportunities, it is because a lot of women are just not there. Yeah, and therefore, and this whole argument therefore of meritocracy, right? We are here because we value meritocracy is an argument that we all need to think about. I'm not blaming any men, I'm not blaming any women, but I think we need to really be honest about what we are with at this point of time. So, going ahead, I think my most, lessons of what I've learned about being an independent woman have actually come from some of the most uneducated women that I've had in my life. I was married and I have never changed my name. And my mother-in-law, who was not at all, who was not educated, somebody came up and told her, आपको पता है आपकी बहू ने अपना नाम नहीं change किया है. That's what somebody was trying to, She said, why should she? She didn't say, oh, I didn't know this or whatever. She said, why should she? Yeah? And she was completely uneducated, grew up in a village in Orissa, but she, I think, had the most, in a way, the best way of, responding to that situation. And I can go on about the many women that I have met and have been part of my life who have actually been very, very empowering, not by empowering, but by being the way they are. Yeah? The third thing I will say is that, I was traveling to Baroda from Bhubaneswar to do my PhD, to give my interview for my PhD. And my dad, who was in Rourkela, said, I will come with you. Yeah? This was many years ago. And I said, why? And he said, I'll come with you because tum akeli ja rahi ho. I said, fir aap chale jao. You give the interview, I will stay in Bhubaneswar. Right? Now, of course, I wasn't being rude or, impolite to him, but it was really like, why should he come with me? Right? And it's not always easy. Yeah? As a single woman traveling in India, it doesn't matter which age and which time you're talking about, there are challenges. And I've faced them. I've faced them as I've worked alone. I've faced them as I've traveled across the world. But I'm just saying that doesn't define how I will then do my work. Yeah? And so therefore, so once I told that to him, he also was very, very progressive. He opened his eyes and he said, that's correct. Yeah, you go. You go. What it also showed me was that whenever you needed something, you ask for it. You're not going to get it on your own. So I remember when I was applying for my PhD and I wanted to go to do this in Canada, because I already had a professor who I was working with, and he told me that you seem a bright person. Why don't you apply to the university for a PhD? I said, yes, I will. But I will not write GRE. He said, why will you not write GRE? I said, I will not write GRE because, I'm first class. I'm very good at my subject. My parents don't have the money to pay for GRE. And I think GRE is a biased test. It is meant for the white students. So why should I do this? So he said, oh, that's a point. And says, I will like to study at your university. So you please go and ask them whether they'll take me without GRE. Yeah? I basically said it in a bit of jest. But he took it seriously. He went away to Canada and wrote to me 6 weeks later saying, the university's agreed. Yeah? And you will do it without a GRE. So I actually got into a PhD admission without a GRE with full scholarship just because I asked. Yeah? And then I was there in the summer, one summer in Canada, and I did not have a course to teach and I needed the money. So I told him, my advisor, that I will teach a course on cross-cultural psychology. There is nobody else who teaches this course. I think I know the subject, I will teach. He said, no, you can't teach, you are a student. You can't teach a new course. So I said, okay, but I will teach because I think I really like the course and I think I have enough material. I'm doing my PhD in this. I'm going to do this. So I went up to the department head and I told him, my advisor doesn't agree that I should teach it, but look, I've created this course outline and I want to teach this course. So he looked at it and he said, well, that's a fair point. I'll take it to the, Dean of Arts, and if the Dean of Arts agrees, we will take you. And actually, I did get a yes, and I taught a fully new course as a PhD student, made money for summer, and also created a course that I had designed and taught at the university. Again, if I hadn't asked, I wouldn't have got it. Yeah? And as I go along, thank you. As I go along, what I want to say is that I've constantly, so then I joined, XIM, then I joined IIM Ahmedabad. I worked there, and I have always said that I have done what I've done, not because somebody has supported me, but because I work hard and I deliver what I promise to deliver. I work hard and I deliver what I promise to deliver. And that has worked for me for all these years. Yeah, I got picked to be the Vice Chancellor of DSCU because I got a call at one night during the middle of COVID saying, we're looking for a Vice Chancellor for this university. Do you have a recommendation? I said, what kind of a person are you looking for? And so they described, and I said, but I fit the bill. And I'm joking. You know, honestly, I was joking. I didn't really think that they were asking me. And they were very nice. They said, oh, our search has ended. You are going to be the Vice Chancellor. That's how I got the job. Yeah. But I've also, and so cutting the long story short, I ended up really doing I really enjoyed the challenge and doing what I did. And finally, I came back to IIM Ahmedabad for various reasons. But at IIM Ahmedabad, yeah, all the efforts that I have done and I've been successful at, and you know, in whatever way I've been able to do what I needed to do, I realize that I cannot go further, and I still have 7 more years to retire. I cannot go further unless I have a sponsor. Yeah, I've reached the limit to what I can push myself to be. Now I need a sponsor. And unfortunately, there are none. There are none. Yeah. So there was a time I felt very dejected about it, but I've decided, you know, I'm going to go by my life story. It's okay if there are no sponsors. It's okay if I have hit the glass ceiling hard and, you know, square. But I will ensure that whoever is under me, yeah, whoever's around me, I will be a sponsor for them. Because that's the position that I am at this point of time, right? And that's all I can do. And I'm saying this because I really feel that it's very easy to feel pessimistic. It's very easy to blame somebody for what is happening around you. Yeah? And it is also very, very enraging that you might be the best person available for the work that is being looked at and you're not considered for it. But it's also important to keep looking at what else can we do. Yeah? And so my request to each one of you, men and women, is just do not inspire inclusion, please invest in inclusion. Yeah? Inspiring will not do enough. You have to invest in it. You have to find the right people. You have to train the right people. You have to give them the opportunity. You have to be a sponsor. You have to do what needs to be done. And only if we keep investing in it will we actually be able to go further. So that's where I will stop. I can continue, but thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. And yes, we would definitely remember in investing in inclusion. I would now invite Dilith to share her thoughts.
I think I'm comfortable to stand and talk. Really sitting. So good morning, namaskar, और आप सबको जोहार. Because I come from a land of Jharkhand, so I come from a tribal community. Okay, so सबको को जोहार. So I just, like today is the day, International Women's Day. So I just wish all of you a happy International Women's Day. All men and women, I think we all need to celebrate this day. This is a great day. And it has a long history. It has a movement, and through that we have come up. Okay? The historical background, I think our two panelists has already explained about it. My journey starts because my mother comes from Jharkhand, my father comes from border of Bengal, and come from a tribal family, come from a farmer family. Okay? And come from with a farmer with a big joint family. And we were 9 of us, and I being the eldest daughter in the family. Okay? And education, because of farming, education was not priority. And that time, to come to Jamshedpur and study in Jamshedpur with all challenges, being a woman, Then you also come from a tribal family wherein to look into scheduled caste, scheduled tribe. I want to share this because I feel very proud to speak about it. Okay, where there is a lot of differences and stigma. Then also with the challenges, I started working age of 16 and started working, studying and taking care of my family, my brothers, sisters and everyone, the family, being the eldest one. So the lot of challenges being a woman, and I feel for me my greatest motivator, I will say my mother. The great mother which I had, the parents we had, always encouraged us. So we did that, and today I will say with that, I used to be teacher. From the teacher I turned to be a social worker, and then went to study in TIS Mumbai through Tata Steel scholarship. Okay. And then came back and then traveled overseas with the United Nations programs and many programs to all over the world, and learned a lot to the world what actually women and girl child issues are facing it. It was which we have seen, we have gone through that, and then started working. But that passion became my profession. I have superannuated from Tata Steel and worked in Jharkhand and Odisha, wherever the Tata Steel mining area, coalfield area, women, and also the main plant area, Simbhum area, all that area, and Odisha also the same area. Then after superannuation, there's a journey, long journey. I just wanted to share, if women wants to do, and if you want to really inspire others, you want to include others, we want to support, and we want to really become a leader, each one can become a leader. Okay, each one is a leader. The opportunities are there, and we also need to look into the opportunity, find opportunity, and also we get a good people to support us. Because I got support from many good people. My parents, my mentors, my teachers, my corporates, and friends who guided us. And I would say, and then studying in TIS, Mumbai, in that time was Bihar, it was not a Jharkhand. And then they used to see, studying in TIS, Mumbai, ये तो बिहार से आई, वो जंगल के लोग हैं, the different type of, stigma was there. But still did, and I want to tell you, that time I was married and I had an 11-month-old child. Leaving that and studied. And then I went to do a lot of further studies also. And I came back, I superannuated from now that entire area. I worked on many issues which she has already said. And working with after superannuation, the management asked me to come and work in Bengal. The Kharagpur, we have a Tata Metallics. So there 8 years I've been worked, now at present work as a consultant, and many of the movement. If the issues, if industries, we are all learned people. We have got opportunity. We have got a job here. We have got a facilities here. Look around. What is the community? That's why I am basically a development professional. What around the community is what facing? What is the issues there? Things are coming from there from home, from house to the family, to the community and to the working space. The same mindset. The mindset need to be changed. We need to understand the depth, what the two panelists have spoken about it, that how give a space to the people. If today I am here, I said the great men were there to support me. Okay? So without men's support, they are giving a space and understanding a girl child and a woman in the house to come to the mainstream. It requires your support. So I always salute the men, okay, who supported me. My husband, my children, I have 2 boys, they're all well settled. So they all supported me, my brothers and my colleagues, okay, my bosses. So that is my life today, and at present I work as a consultant in many organizations. And also I will say the journey, I learned a lot from people. When you go to the village, you learn a lot from them. You don't need to be educated and literate. Your learning always happens. Like every day there is a learning, and we learn. And always I say that God's gift is so much to us, to a human being, because we are here, we adapt, we learn, we live together. Okay, so that thing where I think we need to take it that's our culture. And if you look into our Indian culture, in our mythology, so much of family living, so much of love and affections together, supporting each other. Why, when we are in such culture, bringing up in family, why we are, there is also there with the patriarchal which is coming back. There, still, after so many, it is 113 years, movement, the patriarchal, that mindset is still somewhere there. When I'm working, I'm working in the community, now I can just say, giving example of the Bengal. The highest, the girl child missing, Rajasthan, Bengal, and one more states, I think UP or Bihar, Gujarat, 3 places. Why? When I started working here, I have a long stories, and many of the women have become today President Award winner. Village women, environmentalists, many women started entrepreneurs, they set up many things. So there's a lot of stories which I don't want to share it much, but I just wanted to share 1 or 2 stories. When started working in Bengal, especially Kharagpur area, the one block, Kharagpur block 1, and the totally rural area, when we entered in that village, none of the women, all of them are agricultural laborers. Literacy rate is very low, compared to all. In the national level also find the literacy, women literacy is very low. And girls' age at marriage was 14, 15. Only because they are burdened in the family. They are burdened. Either they have to work, they are burdened, get married. That is the parents always said कि हमको इनको शादी करा देना. क्यों? नहीं कहीं किसी से भाग जाएगा, कोई उठा करके ले जाएगा. I'm telling you, this is the fact. It's sad. It touches you. This is the status of our women. This is the status of a girl. Till now, I'm talking of now at present situation. Then we started working with the women, first women on literacy, women entrepreneurship, created women vendors to the companies. I'm telling you, these illiterate women, made them educated, again rejoined them, put them in Mukta Vidyalaya, Ravindra Mukta Vidyalaya, open schools. And then they have become today, they are the vendors, like contractors in our companies. And today they are up the pride, and they are also continuing their studies, I'll say. Many of the women who are married, age of 14, 15, again they continued studies. And they have become now getting lot of other trainings, getting they're trained, their skills, they're getting into jobs. I think somewhere we also need to create opportunity. Okay, we need to create opportunity. We have got everything. We also need to look into the outside. If you want to create a good society, we want to good world, the peaceful world, the caring world, we also need to care to them, to our neighbors. We need to take care of the neighbors. So many such stories are there, and that's my life. And I always say that I've come up from the challenges, and today I see the world, and I could change many people's life, and each one can do that. Each one, we are in very good positions. Okay. I used to be also the internal committee member of the POSH for Tata Steel and many other companies. And here also, somewhere in the villages level, I say there is a different set of people. Okay, their culture is very different. There's a lot of positivity also with some of these issues. But when I come to the corporate sector or working sector also, the community, the people, family come from those homes. The new joinees, new girls are joining in an operator in the plant, because earlier there were not much of the girls were coming. Now the more of the girls are coming as diploma engineer holders, supervisors and all. And that time, the mindset in POSH and internal committee, we have to really counsel. We have to make understand everyone, men and women, everyone. Okay, this is a place of working where dignity, respect, equity and equality has to be happened. And it has to be come to your behaviors. It has to be in your behaviors. And that also made the change. I'm saying that we worked with casual laborers, we worked with soft floor men and women, and now slowly the men and women increasing. That is a really, really great, good sign. The women, I've seen in my own country plants, and also I'm seeing here 10%. It's very good. Very, very good, I'll say that. Many of the big companies, they are not 10%, I'm telling you. I don't want to take the name of the many of the companies where were worked, but not 10%, but 4 to 5%. But you are at 10% and above. I'm just seeing that. That's a really very good that opportunity has been provided to women here. And the shop floor, and also in IT sector, I have seen 4 to 5%. Not much. So I think we need to look into that. How do we include them? And here the whole team as a work. Team need to work. The top management and men and women, everyone need to understand. Give us space, respect, and today we have been also working, include PWD, people with disability, people with the transgenders. So we have been working. I've been working with them also. So many of them transgenders have been trained now. We're trying to include them in our workforce, especially they are in the account section. Some of them are in the purchase sections. Some of them are administration sections. It just took time. It really took time to be with them, understand them, and create a lot of awareness. We did a lot of awareness in our industries with each employee, even also the casual laborers, employee, men and women, worker group, supervisor group. Series of awareness has to be done. I think there also the capacity building and awareness program need to be strengthened. And then we need to talk about more and more such positivity thing, positive inclusions, give space. And also in our behavior, when we are handling in our houses, maybe our housemates, maybe our neighbors, what type of behavior we are doing. And we need to question it, because I've seen that. Somewhere we need to question it. And this is International Women's Day, is to question to each and every one. We really need to question this. What I am doing it. What we need to do together. And where we create a peaceful world, where we create a harmonious society. And when we are working in a plant, it's a family. It's a family. So I think here also women also need to be, not become, like a one-sided, women empowerment and more autocratic and more power. I sometimes feel power is not everything. I as a person, I feel women have a love, women have caring, men and women both have. So we need to, why don't we start with that? Caring, concern, respecting to each other, and we work together. I think that harmonious working together has to be happening together. Not the bringing the jealousiness. There is a competition. There is a merit and competencies is required. But where we can support each other, handhold it, and come up together, all grow together. And I think that is a leadership. That type of leadership we look into. So when we work in the community, we have created such leaders. We're trying to hold hand and not I become the leader and I become the power person. Person is here, how do you share? How do you try to bring equality? How do you bring to inclusion of these people? So that there is more awareness to create, and then only the journey will continue and will become what we're talking today, inspire inclusion. I think that not investing people, and there is investment. So somewhere we need to first invest in us, look into, and then invest outside and in the family and come to the society and come to all your area. So this is the, I feel we need to work, and I have a long journey for more than 40 years plus area, and there was a lot of challenges, a lot of work, and I enjoyed that, and I'll tell you, today I feel very proud to be, you know, on the situations where I have worked, and today I see the men and women come up. It's not only women, men and women, the boys in the family, okay, they have become, you know, like more respectful. So we have to work in both the sides, I will say that. Not only one-sided, we need to take both the sides, because both are, need to be, they are the very, very important for the society, men and women both. And I always believe कि हम एक दूसरे के पूरक हैं, हमको एक दूसरे के साथ मिलके काम करना है और कदम से कदम बढ़ा के चलना है हमको, and then we create a good society. So यही चंद शब्दों के साथ मैं आपको बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद. I really thank you for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you, Dilith, for showing us ways in how we can invest in inclusion through education, investing in creating awareness and changing the mindset. I would now like to invite Modhura to share your thoughts with us.
Hello everyone, good morning. I am a cinematographer, which is very different from what your lives are and what you do. For those who don't know what a cinematographer is, I am also called a director of photography, which essentially means, in layman's language, I am a camera person. So what visual you see on a film or music videos or whatever you're watching, Netflix, whatever, the visual that you see, that is my responsibility to get it across to you. First, I would like to really thank and appreciate all three of you for such amazing journeys that you have had. I'm very younger to you, and you have all three of you kind of taught me a lot of things in the way. So thank you for that. It is amazing of what you have done, and the journeys all three of you have been through. It is quite something. I really don't know what to share about my journey, because I come from a very different world. We have our own problems, men and women otherwise. There are different set of issues. For example, I will start in a very thing that I've not started working much like, but I've happened to do some good projects. I have received this award at Cannes, so that got me a lot of international recognition, and India as well. But a question that I've always faced, and especially when I just started working, was they used to look at me, and I'm sure people at the back can't see me because I am always this short and always this small. So yes, so that is also the point. Because of the stature that I am very short and I'm very lanky, and now I'm actually thicker. I used to be smaller than this in stature. So I used to walk into a set, or if I've gone to talk to a production, and they used to like look at me and they were like, "Kya tum camera utha paogi?" And I was like, I'm not here for the job of a coolie, just to make things clear. Okay, lifting a camera was not my job. My job was to use the camera to make visuals, but nobody would kind of understand. The first thing everybody asked me, I was literally body shamed now that we talk about. I literally get into somewhere and like, you're too small. You can't do this. So for me, more than my gender, my stature became a problem. That people are not believing me, but just looking at me. A lot of times they'd be like, you have come for costume, or you have come to do, you're an assistant director, which they would be more believable for me, because they couldn't understand that somebody like me can be a DOP, because the notion of how director of photography is supposed to look like, there has to be 6 feet tall, sweaty men with a lot of muscle, because you're juggling cameras and you're working on the road and everything. Because see, you have to understand, filmmaking process is not glamorous at all. It is only the heroines that you see on screen and doing Instagram reels and going to different fashions, only they are glamorous. Uske piche bhi there are 10-15 other non-glamorous people making sure that they are glamorous. Okay, so we are basically a crossbreed of manual labor and army people. Because we are always on the streets, we are working in the sun, we are working in the rain, we are working with heavy equipment, we are working with random things that we can, and we don't talk to our families for days and nights because we hate them after a point of time. We go home every day at 2 in the night and we have a call time at 6 in the morning. So technically we just go back home to sleep and eat and come back. And we don't care anymore that who is humanity per se, because we don't like humanity. The point is, in all of that we do, what I've realized that in films at least, we have got into a space where, because it is Women's Day and I am a technician, though I'm called a female cinematographer, but it's my notion, and I hope one day that we will be able to ungender jobs, because and not be a female cinematographer and just be a cinematographer, or maybe a good cinematographer or a bad cinematographer, not a female one, because it makes no sense, because my femaleness is the only thing in my entire existence which I have done nothing about. That is God gifted. I've been made as a woman and I enjoy it thoroughly. I don't have any problem with it. But it is not the only point in my identity which I really have nothing to do with. Rest everything I have studied, I have worked hard, I cuss at people because I work with a lot of anger issued men and women. So we are all angry with each other all the time. And we are shouting. And I do all of that. That is fine. That is part of my job and thing. But being a female cinematographer is not the point of the thing. But what has happened in filmmaking at least, or what we are trying to do, is slowly and gradually leave out this word called female. As in now you will see that the awards get into the word called best actor. So whether it is a male or a female, it is not an actor and actresses anymore, or directors and directresses anymore. It is all actors. So best actor, male or female, or something of this. So just to understand that Shah Rukh Khan is not getting the same award as Deepika Padukone is, and they are very different two people. And we have kind of trying to create a space where you can be a girl, you can be a boy, you can be a different other gender as well, whatever you kind of want to be. And second is, we are a classless industry. There is no class in our industry. We don't care which class you belong to. We don't believe in caste. We don't believe in your gender. We believe in, if you're fast enough, can you do my work better, or can you not do the work? Because it is only thing that counts. Either you do your work, either you don't do your work. And I have for myself, when I'm a director of photography, usually the whole economics of a shoot, which is the 60% of your budget of a film, say if, to understand in a simpler situation, if it's a 1 crore project, so the 60% of the budget of that film depends on the shooting. So when I am actually handling the 60% of the economy is on me. So later on, if the film is a hit or a flop, the whole onus of the budget comes on me, because if I overspend on the shoot, then if the money is not recovered, then I am answerable to it. And also I have to handle the biggest manpower. So any cinematographer handles the biggest manpower, which includes on set almost 100 to 110 men. And I'm keeping on saying the word men because there are a lot of, even though in technical fields of filmmaking, you would have women, like you will have editors, some, not lot of it, few. There are very few music directors as well. There are very few as in sound designers as well. But there are almost negligible number of director of photography. So why? Because it's supposed to be a very male-driven job, because you're out in the sun and you're shooting in locations and you're going to places which is not communicable, and it is remote locations, and you're going with... So there's a lot of things which is supposed to be not girly about that job, you know, that we have to do. And so that is why it has very less amount of girls and women working in that department. So I technically, when I have to go on my job, I am controlling my unit. I am the only woman, and that has been there since my film school. So when I was in SRFTI, for my previous batch, my batch, and my next batch, we had almost 200 students. I was the only female one in 200 students. And it was just a ratio that has always been there. You know, you cannot escape from the fact that very less amount of female technicians work in the film industry. So anyway, so when I'm on shoot, I have to manage this whole army of 100 to 112 men who are obviously older and bigger to me. Let the bigger part get out of the scene because they're obviously 6 feet. So I had to have this assistant who was called Himalaya. His name was only Himalaya. His parents knew that nothing other is going to suit him. Okay, he was 6'3", and I was there. So he was under me and I was his boss. So I used to tell him, so he did something wrong in the lighting setup, and it was a huge mistake that he had done, and we were running short of time. And this was a scene in the middle of the set, Himalaya is standing, and I'm literally screaming at him that, how can you do this, Himalaya? How can you do this? And he's still like, nahi madam, galti ho gayi. It was a visual that everybody enjoyed because there is this 5'2" woman screaming at a 6'3" guy who can he didn't even need to punch me, okay? He could have just plucked me out and threw me like this. I would have gone flying out of the window. And nobody really could have found me ever. But the point is, and what I'm trying to say, or make sense, or I'm trying to share with you rather, is that, all of us in our own ways, we are just trying to create teams which look beyond our problems. For me, my physicality, which I enjoy. I love being petite, as the French call it, and it's very fashionable nowadays, I assure you. So my problem is that I'm petite, I'm small, but all of us, some are too tall, some are too fair, some are too short, some are male, some are female, unfortunately how we are made. But I think all of us in that way, what we are trying to do is just create our sense of identity, sense of team, and just have that notion that, we can do it, or I can do it. And I have realized that being as women, we always challenge ourselves a bit too much that, I have to do it better than the men. I've realized it that it makes no sense because the men will do it in their own way. They are also fighting their own men. So okay, they are thinking I have to do it better than Rajesh, and Rajesh is thinking I have to do it better than Mahesh. But the point is, we ourselves, we think that I'm Modhura, so I always think that I have to do it better than what Modhura has done. Who has pressurized me in doing that? I have no idea really. But I think that we have got into this quagmire of kind of trying to be better than ourselves so much that we have lost the notion of who we are actually fighting against, or what is our exact challenges are. Like, what is the point of me not enjoying what I am doing and just going behind doing something just to pressurize? I have made no sense of that sentence, have I? Right. The point is that I felt that, beyond the idea of me as a woman trying to do a certain job, or him as a man trying to do certain job, if we all tried just doing our jobs which we like to do without competing, even with ourselves, it could be a lot a better place. When we just don't think who we are competing with. And as women, we have to fight a lot of things back home also. What our son is eating, what is the daughter eating, if the father-in-law and the mother-in-law is fine, if our parents are fine, if the husband is happy enough, or the wife is happy enough, if you prefer that way. So, but the thing is that at the end of the day, I think as we women forget that, are we ourselves happy enough? Is it a job that I'm doing that makes me happy? Is it a cloth that I'm wearing that makes me feel good? Is this a food that I'm eating that makes me happy? At the end of the day, we have to kind of not forget who we are ourselves as individuals. You can wear what you like. You want to wear a red lipstick today, please wear it. Don't think that who is going to think about it, that it's an office and I don't want to wear it. Just wear it if it makes you feel good, because that ounce of feeling good that you have is going to carry the whole day forward for you. You want to wear a sari today, please wear it. And because that spark of confidence is going to gleam in a different way, and that works, that literally works. So, you have enjoyed it, right? You should also wear the kurta next time when you really want to. You have absolutely hit the nail. So that is the point. So just, I think being ourselves, loving ourselves and loving the job that we do is more important. So when I was starting to read about cinema and I was getting into film school, I still am, I'm horrible in maths. I cannot do this. You ask me any mathematics, I cannot do it. So, and please don't ask me just to test it. So the point is that I couldn't. And then I was in Xavier's, and we were doing film studies, and we used to have this small camera setup with small studio lights and everything, and I started working there. And I really enjoyed it, okay? I was like, I walked into the set and the lights got on and I felt this tingling sense of something inside me. I was like, I want to do this. I want to feel this powerfulness or this sense of liberation every time I walk into the job that I want to do. And that is kind of when I decided that I want to do this. I just asked my professor that, you know, do you have to do maths for this? And he lied to me immensely and he said no. But I took his word for it because I loved him. And then my life got hell with all the mathematics and physics I had to do for the rest 3-4 years of my life. But I walk into the set even today feeling that sense of liberation. I walk into the set, I see all of my team of my men and everything. And I work with them hands in hand. They are my friends on set. They are my family on set. Because as I said, we don't see our families for days and we just go back home to sleep and come back. So we become kind of each other's families and friends and caretakers and everything. And I have been very happy and lucky to realize that my team kind of considers me their family. So they know that I stay alone. So they cook food for me and bring it for me. They take care of me if I'm sick on set. And if they see that I'm starting to get angry, they kind of stop me and handle me a cold drink and say like, you just sit down for 2 minutes. Didiya baitho. Don't talk. Sit down for 5 minutes. And so they have the sense of right also over me where they can. And I think that we on a set, that what has been created so far and that I want to see recreated everywhere is the sense of harmony between the males and the females working together. There is actually nothing called a male-female on a film set if you ever get to go there. It is just a hell lot of people working together. Everybody is mad, everybody is crazy. Everybody just knows that one thing we have to do is have that one shot in place. And there are 200, 250 people giving their life for that one shot. You know, nothing else matters. You are a woman, but doesn't matter. If you have done your work wrong, you will get jhadified. You are a man, doesn't matter, but your senior doesn't matter. You have done your job wrong, you'll get jhadified. And I think that has what created this ideal sense of a minuscule society, how it should be, that we are a clan of people who have stopped looking at other people's genitalia and deciding that what they are. We have stopped kind of naming things like, for example, when we talk to each other, we are not talking about female editors and female cinematographers. We are just talking about he's a good DP and he's a good editor, or she's a good DP, she's a good editor, whatever. So we have created that space, and we have made sure that when work is important, it is just work that is important and nothing else really matters. And because see, technicality is something that you always learn. It is always a skill set that you build upon. Because for all these people used to ask me if I can lift up a camera or not. The point was that lifting up a camera is actually has to do a lot more than strength. It is a technique that you have to know how to pick up a 14 kg weight on your shoulders in a fraction of a second. It is not about what is my physical weight or do I hit the gym every day or not. In the same way whatsoever, every skill that we acquire and all of us here have decided to is because we love doing it. And if you do not love doing it, then you're in the wrong job, I believe. That because you have to really want to get up and hit your work if you really like it. If you're not liking it, then you have to go back home and start thinking about it. And I have personally always believed that, you know, when you're questioning women about their ability of can they do something or not, it is just a redundant question. Because women can, okay, you can like expect them to carry water for I don't know how many kilometers with so many matkas on their head in the scorching sun, and that is fine for you. You can take them that they can be woodcutters and they can work in the field for the longest time, and that is okay for you. You can take them as farmers and they can work in the sun and the rain and everything, cutting and harvesting and working physical jobs. That is okay for you. You can even, you know, trust them with raising your next generation of humans. That is also very okay with you. The only problem you're not okay with is with them running companies and putting up cameras. I mean, that is nothing next to bringing up next generation of human beings, and technically you are creating the next world. So So I think is questioning that is redundant. If you can trust them with the future, you can trust them with your cameras as well and your companies as well. They will equally do good on that. And I think women should also feel that we will do good in whatever we're actually given to. It is just up to us to be good about it. You know, we have to love the job. We have to be focused on the fact that we want to excel in it. We have to actually have to feel the want to fight it out and be the warriors that we are, because I always think that women wearing the kajal is war paint. Okay, it is not just makeup. It is pure and clear war paint, and we are at war, and we will be for the longest time. And yeah, so I just think celebrating ourselves as women and knowing the fact that we can actually do whatever we want to do if we really want to do it is good enough for us. Good enough for us. And if men support us, it should be great. We would welcome it. But if you do not, I trust me, we will do our things ourselves. We will be there. So you don't have to worry about it. So yeah, that's it, I guess.
Thank you so much, Modhura. That was such an interesting perspective to hear, and I'm sure we have learned so much from all our guests. Just one thing that Modhura mentioned. So this time we had our girls coming and asking, because usually for every occasion we have a dress code. So they asked us, what do we need to wear tomorrow for the Women's Day? I said, whatever you feel confident in and whatever you feel that you could look at, just wear that and come. There's no dress code this time. So thank you so much to everyone. Now we will open the floor for questions, because our panel discussion will be based on the questions that you will ask. So whatever questions you have, now is the time to ask our panelists. Who would want to go for the first question?
So I thought I'll ask later because they are running away, so I thought I'll ask the first question. So we are working consciously on diversity, and I mean, like you talked about not only inspiring but investing as well. And when I go and we talk and we discuss that, and we are also in the same space, mechanical is what we hire. So like cinematographers or like other streams, we don't get people. So generally the thought is that if we get same, because the input is not there. Now when we go to campus or we go to industry, our thought process is that if man and woman is same, then we will hire a woman, then we will give preference because we want to improve the diversity in the organization. But the fact of the matter is that we get one in 3 batches. So on the investment front, as leaders and as the managers here, because they also typically, Kajori shared in the recruitment plan or something, they kind of consciously forget or maybe so privileged that it does not register. So according to Amilek, what can we actually do in your experience to handle this issue, or we are already handling it well and we should not do anything about it? So at the entry level, what we can do, and then after that, what we can do.
Okay. See, investment part, what I'm talking here, they can be a training, further trainings, can be short courses. If you feel them, you want them to take them to the higher ladder. Okay. You have your own opportunities here. Create your own opportunities, especially for women, men, both. Okay. So the more, I will say that more trainings, more short courses, give them study leaves, so that then the growth can happen. This is one. Second, investment, I'm also talking on the community part of it. What we have done it, I just share that. We have worked through our CSR in our area, the local area where we have been working with the women, with the men. See, we coach them, we have a coaching, we have a mentoring, we are also putting them giving them scholarships, and also putting the, especially with the more affirmative families and students, okay, coming from OBCs, poorest to the poor, we never get, the generation will never get opportunity. So those students and girls and boys, working with them, and then like a diploma engineering and engineering, if you could provide the scholarships and later on you can hire them. It's not that you promise them that you're going to take it, or campus selections in the merit they can get it. So which we have been doing it. We have done that and we have been doing it in this way. So that's where the local community for that area is also included, and also coming from those areas, girls, I'm talking girls, especially they would have married, they would have been trafficked. Those girls have come out now and they are working also in the shop floor. They have done ITIs and diploma and they're working in a. So how do we create that? That is one thing, investment, investing them. Then we also worked through CSR, a lot of health programs, educational programs, and livelihood programs, because when we talk empowerment, you require economical empowerment. Okay, empowerment, also creating leaders among them. So this also creates, when we create your whole design, you need to design it in that way. Really, you have to think about it. How do you want to invest, especially if the women employees are there? How do you invest them? You have to plan out. And also when through a CSR and other programs for the local community, the have-nots, include them. That also you can do through different programs, different projects. Okay?
So I completely agree with you that, maybe the time has come for us to not only think about how to get the woman today, because that anyway in mechanical engineering, many colleges are actually stopping these branches because everybody wants to study IT, ITS, computer science, and so on and so forth. So I think my experience is that in the diploma, there are still women. And can you invest in the scholarships that you give to them so that in 4 years' time you have a group of people who you can hire easily? Also take some of the women from the colleges that are studying in the IT, ITS and actually give them, like Infosys and the Wipros at some point took any branch of engineering and converted them into computer, like IT people. Now maybe the time has come for some of us to take some of these people and convert them into mechanical engineers. So we might have to invest in education. The other thing is, as the Vice Chancellor there in Delhi, I also realized, and again, I have, I've studied in a girls' school, girls' college, and so on and so forth. I really think that the women-oriented polytechnics and ITIs are very good places to go and find some of these women. And while, maybe we are working towards an age where why should we have only women-only colleges and stuff like that? And it is a good question to ask. But I think, again, the training there is much better. And maybe invest in the curriculum there, right? Because you already know what you have to do and that's what can happen. But at the end of the day, I think these can also be very convenient excuses from the managers to say there aren't enough women, right? So I think sometimes you've just got to go and bring these women. And even if they are, if let's say in how you measure them, if they're not 19, 20, right? If the woman's 19 and the man is 20, and the woman is 16 and the man is 20, there is a possibility that the 16 is because of how you are measuring them. It's not because of she is a 16, but because of how you are measuring them. And therefore, maybe we also need to look at the measure per se in that sense. And the last thing I would say is that, in my experience, again, when you give a person with disability, a woman, a chance, and there are studies to show that, to work in the organization, they are 30 to 40% times more committed to the organization and loyal to the organization than the men are. right? So if you look at the cost of training, that might be a minuscule cost as compared to what you will get from how they will stay with the organization. That's one of the ways.
I just want to add one point, because what we have done, like scholarship we have in through CSR from high school to the college level, and also the engineering level. We have limited, because we have a limited funding. So we try to work with other industries, and we coach them, we mentor them, external scholarships, and then we also handhold them till that. And then if they get through their own placement, today then IIMs, IITs and everything, and also we also go for placement and bring them in that. So I'll just say one or two mindsets. You know what happened? When initially when we started doing the ITI and diploma from our area, especially I'm talking now because I'm in Bengal, so I'm talking of the Bengal area. Because they're totally vernacular Bengali medium, and then putting them into the good diploma, I think 6 months we did the preparation. Okay? And also the computer education and everything, digital literacy and all that, we have to do it. And then prepare them and then get into the admission. And after that, I'm telling you, they went to the Tata Steel Technical Institute, they got admission. Our children from here, from the village, they were the toppers. They were the toppers. And I'm telling you, one time, our own people from the plant is to say, आप लोग इस पर क्यों खर्च करिए, ये लोग कुछ करेगा नहीं. And somebody says, ये लोग तो merit में आएगा नहीं. I'm talking very fact. This type of languages, ये merit में नहीं आएंगे. ये लोग, गांव के लोग हैं, they will not come under. I said, how can you make those mindsets? How can you make? The similar happens with the women. And similarly with the PWD, we try to work with the PWD to bring them, inclusive them, and that. And many of the top people said, no, they can't work in the plant, they can't work. That already preconceived the mindset, it's there. I think somewhere we need to work. So we started, I'm telling you, and now these people, the local people who are diploma engineerings and others, they have done, now they are doing engineering also. Okay. See, nursing and other thing, they have been going it. We are supporting them, whatever the skills they can do it. But they have become the most loyal, what you say, talking about it. They are always for your company, they're close by people. Okay. They are always there with you. So somewhere we need to remove those mindset कि ये लोग नहीं कर सकते हैं, merit में ये लोग आ नहीं सकते हैं, and they have not come from the good school, government school से आते हैं. I think those things we need to be taking back, and we need to work. There is an investment. That is the thing, we need to do it. Okay.
Thank you, sir. Sir,
Yeah,
thank
you take this.
Okay, thank you for giving me this opportunity. Ma'am, dragging that point, you are saying that if the mindset of some people is like that, so my question is that if I am getting somebody who is having that kind of mindset and I have to work with that person in day basis, then how can I handle that person? I don't know, I just, yes.
When I started off, we were 200 people, and we were 200 people, and we were 10 of us. And being auditors, we needed to travel everywhere. We needed to. Oh, it is okay. I just need to hold it closer. See, the initial reaction, because there is going to be bias. Somebody, when I changed organizations mid-career, the question was, do you plan to start a family soon? Of course I plan to start a family soon. Of course I'm going to get married. I'm going to have children. It's natural. Why is this question coming? So, but the point is, you cannot react. The way is that you handle it calmly, get through, and this is where I said communication helps. Get through your point of view. Get through your point of view in a manner which is absorbed and not as a reaction. And probably here you will need to seek support. Sometimes if you need to seek support of organizational policies, that's fine too. I mean, if If you are going to go and take advantage of organizational policies, those policies are there for you. If somebody is discriminating you because, there are 5 others who want to come to office every day and you want to work from home, you did not create that policy. The organization has a policy and you are abiding by that policy. So, but at the end of the day, I believe the work needs to be done. And I said, if you are committed to your work, you are going to deliver as to what you have to deliver and not take advantage of this position, I guess sooner or later the change will happen.
I don't know. I think that if I were in your position, but this is a corporate situation, so my ideas can be very dangerous, okay? But whatever. If I were you, I would have just stopped caring. Because if that person, you know that whatever you do, this person is never going to be happy with you because he has a pre-notion that you are not good enough, then I would not waste my energy trying to impress that person at all. I would just keep on doing my work good because I know what I'm doing is good enough. And that is good enough for my company or organization or my cinema set, whatever it is, in whatever scenario we are in. If my work is good, I know I'm giving my 100% and I know this is what is the best possible outcome in the situation that it is. So that person can do whatever. Really, I don't care. Because that person, if you already know, as you said, you put the context that you know that this person is not going to be ever happy with you, then what's the point of losing my energy and breath in trying to make him happy? No.
What if you have to continue your work with that person then?
They keep on working with him, but you do your work the way you want to do. Now, the idea is, again, as I said, self-love yourself. Understand your self-worth, your worth. If you're looking at his affirmation of making you think that I'm good enough, then there is a problem, girl. You have to think that I am good enough. And I am the best. So if this guy, you know, this man or whoever is your boss, whoever, you already know that whatever, I might die for him, but he's not going to be happy. So then what's the point of dying for him if he's not happy even then? So rather you live and live your life, do your work the best possible way you're doing it, and just hope that one day the idiot is going to understand that, I've just lost my best employee. And you move on. Have a good life, chill.
Not in office, it can be everywhere.
It can be anywhere. It can be your boyfriend too, doesn't matter. It is the same policy with every man you have, it doesn't matter.
Agreed.
Thank you, ma'am. Actually, I have come from that situation where I am from mechanical background. So I have faced many of the interviews. I have given them the interviews, and then they told me, why should I hire you? Sorry.
That's okay.
No. Why should I hire you? Because you are a woman, you will get married in some days, then you will have some children, then maybe you will not continue with our organization. So I have faced that challenges. Okay.
Whatever I've heard from all the
Yeah.
very amazing ladies here, that we are already endangered species because we are already being killed. So we are very close to being the animal, tigers, okay. So think that you are very special right now in that way. And you are a woman, as ma'am said, that she was also asked the same question, right? And she handled in a very beautiful way. So you also tell that everybody wants to start a family. The person who has, I think, interviewing you had a family already, and he's very sad there, and that's why he's coming and giving you all the jail. So the point is that what you want to do, you want to do. You always have to prove that, you are. I say this, and I'm sorry if whenever people ask me this question, that, why should we hire you, and why do you think that you can shoot this better than the senior DOP who has been here for the last 15 years? I always say because I'm new, I'm fresh with ideas. I know the technology is better right now, all the new techniques that are coming out, and because simply I am the best right now in the market.
But
And-
that is not their concern that I know this thing.
No, but
Their
that-
main concern is, I am a woman, if you are going to...
No, then ask them simply that if I come tomorrow with a sex change operation, if I am a man, you will hire me tomorrow. And you ask them to give it to you in writing. That tomorrow I will come, give me 6 months, I'll come back as a man. because I want this job so bad, but give me on writing that the moment I come back, you're going to give me the job, because rest everything else is okay with you. The only problem is my gender, so you keep it in writing. Just ask them that, because nothing else really matters. If they same again, what my simple perception tells, they can always give you the better ideas because they have been handling it for years and decades. My simple idea is, I think we as women, we should just stop entertaining all of these questions and queries. Just stop entertaining them. If you are what is the problem if I'm a woman? You give me in writing that tomorrow I'll come back as a man, you'll give me the job. You cannot give me that in writing. I have the same qualifications as the other guy has. I have better work experience. I'm a better worker. And all you have a problem is me having a baby. Well, then your whole lookout, right, the other person's lookout towards what he's looking from an employee is wrong. We used to say that if I have a baby, I will know how better to multitask, I'll be raising up a baby, I'll be taking care of companies. I have better mental functionality then. Unlike you, who doesn't have to think about anything else except for going home and having his bottle of whiskey. So I think the moment you stop victimizing yourself and entertaining questions like this, these questions will slowly and gradually stop. There is no point to these questions, and whoever is asking it, I think is also a kind of a sign for you. If you're walking into an interview and getting asked these questions, I think it's a bad company. Walk out. I don't know. I just feel if.
But at that time, I needed that job also.
Oh, you will find better one.
I think as a young person, bubbling with the energy and with the seeing situation, I think very, very nice. I really appreciate the way you have been answering. I will say, such thing comes. I'll share some of my experiences. When, just sit. What happens, many of the HR people is to tell me, I said, why you're not hiring people, all that. Women, PWD or women, and they said, nahi, the chiefs and they don't want. They said, nahi, hum log ko ladies mat dijiye, women mat dijiye. So one day I thought, let us meet to my big boss, talk to him, because they need sensitization. And I think among us, we need to talk also. We need to go to the higher person. Okay, higher authority. And sir, this is the issue. What do you think? As per our policy, as per our law, it is equal for everyone. We're talking about inclusiveness, everything. There is a policy. Okay. In that we had taken a permission from our head, the boss, senior boss. Then we had a sensitization. We plan out, designed it, and we have series of sensitization program. Why you will not? Because they had a lot of questions. But somebody need to also listen to them. But sometimes what happened, we don't work on them and we try to blame with them. So what happens, we started working with them and a lot of questions. I said, why do you? The questions and then we answered them. Okay, the sensitization started happening, and we did also to all the level sensitizations. I'm telling you today, even in the CSR and affirmative action, employee volunteerism, we do a lot of training program to our employee because their participations. Okay, when they understand, they understood, I'm telling you, and then they said now the women employment is increased, that company, I tell you, even same thing with the posh. Same thing with the posh. The young people are coming, the supervisors and the other officers, they're not able to handle it. They think something else. Their mindset is different. Their bringing up it is different. They have not worked with the women. They must be treating at home in a different way to their wife and their daughter. I'm telling you. And many of the sessions, what happened when we took post sessions, many of the employees have come up and they said, thank you ma'am, because you told us I'm going to change my behavior to my wife and my daughter, my mother. Because the way we take the sessions, I think the sensitization is very, very important, and I think we need to do, and we all, what she said, I agree totally. Don't be bothered about that questions. Answer it, there is a policy, and I should get it my job. In a merit, I am there, then I should get.
Yeah,
Oh,
I want to take on from here, and my point is to all men and women managers, right? Pregnancy is a 9-month advance warning period, right? So I don't understand what is the issue. You know 9 months ahead of time that this woman is not, or this person is not going to be available for the another 6 months. As a business, can we not plan that? What is the problem in this? And I really think it's a mindset issue, and it's a mindset issue both for men and women, right? It has a lot of advance warning. You know, if somebody in your family falls ill tomorrow, and it is a serious sickness, you might need 3 months of leave. And the organization rallies around and does the work. Here we have a 9-month warning system, right? You know 9 months ahead of time that this person is not going to be available, and they're not going to be available for maybe 6 to 8 months. Can we not plan our work around it? Can an organization not do this kind of planning? If they can't, then what are we doing? Yeah, and that's a question I'd like to ask anyone, right? And if women get married, men get married. If women move, men move, right? And if when women have children, men have children.
Now they're getting paternity leave also. They're getting.
Yeah. Well, in a lot of countries, in India especially, paternity leave, when women are asked, do you think men should get paternity leave? They say no, because that will be one more child to look after at home. Yeah, so it may be better that they continue to go to work, right? So yes, there are changes and there is data on it. I'm not making it up. So honestly, I'm saying if we plan, there has to be no issue. It's a mindset issue.
And ma'am, one more thing I have seen in my college, that there is so many girls in the mechanical department, but once they passed out, they completely lost. I mean, they have not doing any job or something, anything. Sir was asking that we are not getting any female employees. So I think we should, sir, train them that, to get their mindset that they should work also instead of sitting back at home, right? I know so many girls. They have done their diploma and BTech, and they are simply sitting back in their home doing nothing.
Yeah. So maybe your answer is also use the women to actually attract more women into the pool for recruitment.
And actually, ma'am, whenever they hear something from us, from the corporate scenes, so they get something, sometimes say they get little scared of that this environment
this
is very
will
harsh.
happen with anywhere. So see, I am coming from film industry. It is supposed to be the worst industry ever for any girl to be there, and that has been there since the history of thing. Okay, so in Bengali the word in the colloquial, it is still thing me line geche. ঠিক আছে সিনেমা লাইন হয় কিন্তু সিনেমা ইন্ডাস্ট্রি নোবডি সেজ ইট সিনেমা লাইন সো বেসিক্যালি ইউ ডিগ্রেড দ্য হোল ইন্ডাস্ট্রি ইন আ সার্টেন ওয়ে সো গার্লস কামিং ইন টু ফিল্ম ইন্ডাস্ট্রি has since forever history of civilization thought the worst women go there. So the point is not that, every industry, everybody who's not interested to work there will think that, oh my god, it is so problematic, there will be so many men and it is going to be so much of everything. So that is not the point. The point is that you have worked now, you are working here, so you will know your juniors from college. So you can go and tell them, I am working there in this industry and how this industry functions. You will give them reality check. So if every girl gives 10 reality checks to 10 other people, that is a chain reaction. That is how it should work. Because they also needs to be sensitized that, it is not going to be a rosy life outside anywhere. Every girl has to fight and make their presence seen, whatever industry you're going to, from films, corporate, mechanical engineering, being a doctor, whatever it is, medical, whatever it is. But then I think we as a responsible, when we have reached a space where we can tell two other girls about it, I think it becomes every girl's responsibility also to go out and say that, I work in this industry, these are the pros of it, these are the cons of it. Decision is yours, but I think you should give it a shot because I think you have it in you to do good here. So it is just not about letting your fellow girl or a fellow woman find their way around the world. No, it is because you have reached a space, it is also your responsibility to kind of encourage them, kind of give them a reality of things and kind of tell them. So every industry for any girl not interested to work or being scared about is bad. I think
Wastage of education.
it's a wastage of education also, you know, because most girls are not getting the opportunity to get educated, as ma'am has been saying. But if somebody has got that opportunity and she doesn't understand the value of it, it becomes our responsibility as well as a collective to make that person understand that how important it is. And maybe go to the grassroots for corporate people to go to colleges, go to very borderline institutions and find the girls, sensitize them, tell them what is industry is all about, how to work, what to do, and bring them on. Because I think women power compared to manpower, I think so women power is out there. There are girls who are studying and doing things. I think they're all very clueless. They don't know what they're signing up for. They can't see the future, and it becomes each one of your responsibility to go back home and find 2 girls and maybe 3 girls and tell them what it is. And that is how you build the clan, you know. You have to kind of help your fellow girls to come up. If we don't do that, then I don't think it is yet the whole talk about women empowerment makes any sense, because we have to empower our fellow girls who are not having the clarity of vision and everything.
Thank you. Thank you everyone for your questions. We would now end the question answer session. Thank you so much, our esteemed panelists. So the key takeaways from the session, what Seema said, confidence, communication and networking. What Neharika said, investing in inclusion. How Dilith took it further in the ways on how we can invest in inclusion. And I would like to conclude from Modhura, like the question which Anamika had asked, right? And the answer which she gave. So this is a very common scenario which most of us face in the interviews. And as an interviewer also, we tend to ask this question. Ki, are you planning to get married? Do you plan to have kids? Do we? Do we ask these questions? Yes or no? Okay, so it's a common scenario which we have faced. So what is our responsibility? So first, we should stop, as she has said, we should stop seeing ourselves as a victim. We should stop entertaining these questions. Will we entertain these questions henceforth? The ladies I'm asking here, raise your hand and say. No. Great. We should not. We should not entertain these questions. And as an interviewer or as a member of the company, it is our responsibility to remove this biasness consciously. We have to make the conscious effort in not asking these questions, and it is our responsibility and accountability to include or invest in the diversity rather than just accommodating them. It is our responsibility, not the HR department's responsibility or the company's responsibility. The onus lies with us. With this, I would like to conclude, and I would pass on the mic to Rashmi.
So thank you, Kajuri. As we talk of women empowerment today, we all know we have a very special woman who is the power behind TEGA, and I would request MM sir to please come and share a few words with us.
I was very happy when I saw your schedule that my name is not there, I have to speak today. Because I was told by Bhanu that you have to keep your mouth shut. So why do you want me to break the rule today? I know I make rule and I break the rule as well. I'm possibly the only person in the company who breaks the rule. But not today, because I have 2 women in my house and I'm frightened of them. If I see 70 of you, I don't know what is happening to me. 2 things. One, when in the corporate world, when men and women, they both get married, they have children, I'll tell you 3 incidents that I've seen in my life. And all of them known to me very, very closely. A man decided that he will let his wife build her career and grow. And he will do the lower job and take care of the children and be a housewife. I salute him. But then what happened? In any party, social evening, when they will go, all the women will say, "Ye sala harami, bibi ki kamai khata." And he was getting humiliated. And the other men, those who did not do this, used to hear this too. So my request to women is that please be kind to those men who take this substandard job and let you grow. I've seen 3 cases in my life, not one. When I come back and look at TEGA, people ask me, you have built this company. What do you think? I have no answer. When sometime I look back, I feel and see the children only know the mother and not the father. Because I had to spend 26 days traveling to meet the mission. It was not a job for me, it was a mission of my life to build this. And if you really see the sacrifice made by my wife to fund the company by selling her assets is the one which has multiplied today, contributed, that all of you are enjoying today. See the real hero behind the company, not MM. And thank you.
Before we close, we would like to felicitate our guests because they have taken out time, been here, share their views, their journey with us and really inspired us. I would request MM sir to please help with the felicitation. Bhanu sir. Aina sir.
It's a women function.
So I think next. We can have our first women employees at the age coming us and joining us.
Yes. Dipanjana Basudha, please.
Dipanjana and
Basudha, please come.
Join us our first women employees on the shop floor.
When they joined, I used to meet them quite often. I had to make sure that I meet them. So after 1 year, when I met one of them, how do you find it? He said, the men don't listen to us. So then after some time when I asked, she said, now, see, I think one of them became the in charge of the shift. He said, how did you manage? He said, I fired him left, right, center. Now they listen to me. Do that.
And
Yeah.
Sumit, the lady who takes care of them, so her HR head that Neha is HR for Kalyani. Again, the plant. Second, the first woman could not come today because she is on her maternity leave in the Kalyani plant. She is the second employee there.
Okay, thank you. And all the best.
Rahul, would you like to join? Come.
One caution for the men. The way it is progressing, in 50 years the time will come and we will talk about men's liberation.
Thank you everyone. Thank you for joining. We'll conclude our...
Thank you. That's what I'm thinking. It's heavy.